back. We have latest visuals coming in at this point in time from Havra, where these protests are taking place. My colleague Saurabh Gupta is at the location reporting from the ground. Well, huge protests are taking place in connection with the Kolkata rape and murder case, where a student outfit had called for a march to Nabanna. Demanding the resignation of Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. There's a lot of political war of words also that has played out over the matter, but meanwhile these are really dramatic shots that are coming in from Havra at this point in time. All the roads leading towards the Bengal secretariat have been blocked, and these protesters have been pushed back by the police. Well, these protesters tried to break the barricades also and tried to march towards the Bengal secretariat, but their attempt was thwarted by the Bengal cops who managed to push them back, and the riot police of course had to intervene, and they managed to bring the situation under control. What is the situation at the moment? These are live visuals that we can see. Remember, one of the protesters there sitting on top of the barricade, waving the Tiranga, holding the Tiranga in his hands and waving it can be seen. What we were learning so far is that these protests were called by the student organization that said these were going to be peaceful protests, but the situation turned awry, and we do understand huge protests are being taken out at this point in time. This march towards Nabanna that the protesters are attempting to proceed ahead with has been blocked. Well, they have been stopped by the Bengal cops. My colleague Saurabh Gupta continues to be with us on the broadcast. He is getting us more from the ground. Saurabh, all right, we'll go to Saurabh in just a bit. He'll be joining us back on the broadcast in just a bit. These are latest visuals that are coming in from Havra, where these protests are taking place. We do believe more people are expected to join this march. At this point in time, there is a huge crowd that has gathered and is protesting against the Mamata Banerjee government, demanding the resignation of the Chief Minister, saying that she has failed to deliver justice in the Kolkata Arjikar rape and murder case, and that is what they're asking for. They're asking that the Chief Minister must step down from her post. They had planned this march towards the government secretariat, which houses the offices of the Chief Minister as well as various ministers of the Mamata Banerjee government. But their attempt has been thwarted by the Bengal police, who managed to push them back. These protesters have not been allowed to proceed further. However, what we are learning so far is that the TMC has been saying that this was a conspiracy by the BJP in order to create unrest in the state. And what the TMC so far has been claiming is that these are not students, but people who are affiliated to the BJP. It's a BJP plot to create unrest in the state. These are latest visuals coming in. Water cannons are being fired at the protesters in order to disperse them. Latest visuals coming in from Havra, where huge protests are taking place against the Mamata Banerjee government, demanding for her resignation. Huge police presence at this point in time near the location where water cannons are being fired, are being used in order to push back the protesters. The protesters are once again seen coming ahead. They are seen marching ahead. Once they are being pushed back by the Bengal police, they are seen returning towards the barricades. Some of the protesters were seen sitting on top of the barricades, waving the national flag. These protests so far, what the student organization claimed that these protests were meant to be peaceful protests, but the situation had gone out of hand, after which the riot police pushed back the protesters and managed to bring the situation under control. All right, more visuals coming in. These are live visuals that you can see on your TV screens. These protesters are trying to break the barricades. The barricades have been greased in order to make sure that the protesters aren't allowed to proceed further. But the protesters seem quite undeterred and are in no mood to go back. These are dramatic visuals coming in from Havra at this point in time where these protests are taking place. I'll be going to Saurabh Gupta, my colleague who's present on the ground, tracking the situation for us in just a bit. Meanwhile, remember, a political fight has also erupted over this protest march that has been called. BJP leader and LOP in West Bengal Assembly, Suvendu Adhikari had claimed that 4 students were arrested. They had disappeared after they were arrested by the police. And Suvendu Adhikari had so far maintained that they were missing, and if something happens to them, then the Mamata Banerjee government would be responsible. But after that, there was a clarification from the West Bengal police. The West Bengal police said that those protesters, the 4 students, were trying to create anarchy. They were trying to create unrest by getting involved in this protest, but their attempt was thwarted, and that is the reason they were arrested, and their families have also been informed. Meanwhile, latest visuals on your TV screens that we can see at this point in time, a 3-layered security is in place around Nabanna. The police also had said that they had uncovered evidence of a conspiracy to create trouble and anarchy during the protest march, and that is why barricades had been installed at different locations along the routes leading to the state secretariat. The state secretariat houses the offices of Chief Minister and other top ministers of the Mamata Banerjee government, and the protesters have been seeking the Chief Minister's resignation. They were attempting to proceed further, but there is a huge police presence along these routes. Around 6,000 police personnel have been deployed in and around these areas. These are latest visuals that you can see on your TV screens coming in from Havra at this point in time, where drones, robocops have also been deployed by the Kolkata police, and the police is leaving no stone unturned to make sure that law and order is maintained and the situation doesn't go out of hand. My colleague Saurabh Gupta joins us back on the broadcast here. Saurabh, we have latest visuals coming in of water cannons being used on the protesters.
The last charge happening on the other side of the barricade, and that's where some of those protesters are. Now, obviously, this is what we are seeing from this side of the barricade, and there, of course, the police are using mild lathi charge to push the protesters back. They did manage to break the barricade here, but again, the police have restored that barricade and tied it up once again. And the protesters, of course, now are on the other side. But the police say they will not allow them to come this side and are chasing them away as they try and move into what seems like the protesters are now trying to get into the Shastragati station as the police chase them away. Now these are protesters, of course, who've tried to vandalize this barricade. They tried to break down this barricade, and there was some stone pelting also that happened from the side of the protesters. In fact, some of those stones are still lying here. As you can see, these are the stones that were thrown on this side.
As you can see, these are the stones that.
With the police chasing the protesters back at this point beyond the barricade on the other side. So obviously this is where it is right now, and chaotic scenes at least in Nabanna. And you can see the police again using more tear gas, perhaps, to try and push the protesters back as they as they try and sort of bring this situation under control. There is of course an attempt by the police to restrict and use minimal force because that's what has been instruction has been given. use minimal force, but whatever force, and absolutely under no circumstances can the police open fire, is what sources have told us, is what the instruction is. At this point, we can see, of course, the police have resorted to some amount of tear gas fire and some amount of, obviously, mild lathi charge to push the protesters back as this road here in Chatragachi has been blocked. This is about 100 to 200 protesters who are here.